Can we go anytime at the race park?
This is the Rock Solid Racing Citizen Bank 400 from Michigan International Speedway underway. I'm a bit behind, so I'm just going to let you watch the race for a moment, and I'll catch up in a second. Ah, that's probably better. Stephen Massey here is in the lead on lap 2 here at Michigan. Coming around to the start-finish line. There it is. So this is Michigan, and we have 9 starters here today. Stephen Massey's in front, and the number 97 Sharpie. Rubbermaid. Red and gray number 97 there. He's in the lead. Just a short distance back, there is John Cottle in the 07 car. U.S. Marine Corps. Cottle putting the pressure on Massey now for first, coming down the backstretch here at Michigan. Cottle closing right up on Massey here for first. Looks like Josh Mayu had a little contact on the backstretch there. He's falling back a wide gap to third place now, although there is a battle for the lead going on as John Cottle is looking to pass Stephen Massey, who currently has the lead. 5 laps down. Massey holding them off. Led all 5 laps, I believe, of this race so far. Padding that lead a bit, a little give and take going back and forth here. Let's take a moment to walk through the field there. There's Stephen Massey and John Cottle in a close second. Then there's a way back to Douglas Hess running in third, and just behind him is Ed Adams. And then looking back further into the pack, you can see there is Jim Westerfield leading another group of drivers. Jamal Poo on the outside, Josh Mayu on the inside, a little right front damage there, and Jason Wallot. Chad Engel has pulled into the pits. Scott Massey, though, is pulling away in front now, a half second up over Caudle. Here at this high-speed Michigan track, Massey on the back stretch. A little give and take here as Caudle and Massey kind of go back and forth, getting better corners in. Massey continuing to put down better times, though, has opened up to a point. As I say that, Caudle gets a good run on the corner, but he gives it back on the backstretch as he's now falling to almost a second behind. Massey still holding that almost a second lead over Caudle there. You can see the gap as they come down the back stretch. Massey in the lead. There you can see Massey, Caudle, and Hess first, second, third. And the gaps between them as they're just opening this up. Big racetrack here. Plenty of room to spread out. Massey makes the gap behind him a full second here, heading down the back stretch. And still pulling away. It's a really cool angle the car is coming across. Down the backstretch here. Amazing how much these cars are towed in. Quite a gap now between Stephen Massey and John Caudle. Massey here with the lead. Led all 13 laps. Coming down to complete. That completes lap 13, I think. It's not the start-finish line. That was the backstretch. Here's your leader, Stephen Massey. I have not been out in these cars myself. I haven't driven them. Not here at Michigan. I'm not sure how many laps these guys are going to go, but keep an eye out here. Drivers are putting in about a second off their fastest time right now. So really not that bad a shape. We're 17 laps down here at Michigan. Still with Stephen Massey in the lead, holding just over a second interval back. Let's walk through the field. Stephen Massey, first place. Led every lap so far of this race. It was a battle at the beginning. Caudle kept some pressure up on him, but then he's pulled away now. And you see there's the gap between him and Caudle. .1 seconds behind there is John Caudle. And there you see the gap back to third place. And then you look back to third place is Douglas Hess in the 29 Exide car. There's Douglas Hess in third. And back him is Jason Willott. In the number 48 Lowe's. And just behind him is Jim Westerfield in the number 3 BF Goodrich. Behind him, Jamal Poog. Driving the number 1 Menards car. Behind him is Josh Mayu in the number 10 right front damage. And Chet Angle's out on the course, 11 laps down on the Interstate Batteries, number 18. And we're back with the leader, Stephen Massey. Still with that lead over Caudle there. Now up to almost a second and a half. Massey's putting in times about 1.1 tenths faster. Well, at least on that last lap. Pulling away kind of slowly, but now up to 1.6, which is the furthest out in front he's been. Up to 186 mile an hour on the backstretch. Now kind of coming almost 2 seconds off the pace now. Almost 2 seconds. He's hitting 2 seconds now up over John Caudle. Looks like Josh Mayu coming down into pit road. He's the last place driver on the lead lap. Coming in now for the pit. Douglas Hess is coming in now also. Lap 25. Presumably these people are on these drivers are on 3-stop schedules. Which, since we're now a quarter of the way into the race. There's Josh Mayu in the pits already. Here's the leader, Stephen Massey, still out on the track. Opting not to pit this lap. Douglas Hess heading back out. Mayu is staying in, assuming for additional repairs. Douglas Hess comes out. He's lost a lap. As expected, under the green flag stop, and he's away. Right in behind Massey. You see he's just barely a lap down there. Lost almost exactly a lap in that transaction. And Josh Mayu's getting back out on the track. Looks like they've banged out some of his right front panel and he's in better shape. Massey has grown his interval now to 5.5 seconds over John Caudle, who's just coming onto the backstretch now. As you see, Massey is just coming to the end of it. Massey, who's led all 27 of these laps. And it looks like Jamal had some contact with the wall there. He slowed up a bit in turn 3 and 4. Here's Jim Westerfield coming up behind Jason Wallet for third place. Jason Wallet in the number 48 Lowe's in third. For the moment, we'll see this battle play out for third place. Still looking at third place here, Jason Wallet, and just behind him, Jim Westerfield. Walt has now pulled half a second back in front of Jim. So we'll head back to the leader. I think Jamal got into the wall again there, perhaps. No, I think these drivers are just starting to get high on the track and a little slow. Maybe they're just having a little problems with grip. Josh Mayhew and Douglas Hess both came in around lap 25. And Douglas Hess is currently on the lead lap. And Jim Westerfield's coming into pit. He is the first of perhaps the two stoppers coming down pit road. Looks like we're going to have a clean stop here. And there's Massey lapping Jim. Coming up behind also, the number of 18 of Chad Engel, putting him 12 laps down. And Jim Westerfield is coming back out on the track now. There's your leader, Massey, again. So we're on lap 32 here. Maybe give him one more time around, and then we expect the two stoppers to all be in. Westerfield was the first. He pit after 30 laps. Not quite dividing it into thirds. And of course, Josh Mayhew and Douglas Hess. Mayhew's 2 laps down, though. Douglas Hess is on the lead lap. But he looks like he's going to have to pit twice more. Or the other drivers will only pit once. So Massey's still in first. And it looks like Caudle's coming in now. He was almost 8 seconds back when he comes in. And Wallet is coming in behind him. Both of them running pit stops now. Jamal moves into second place on the exchange. Stephen Massey still out front. Jamal there in second place now. 20 seconds behind the leader. Who is coming down pit road right now. Here is your leader, Stephen Massey. Now we'll get to see how these pit stop strategies are going to play out, as Jamal is 20 seconds behind. Just now, and Jamal is also going to come in. So that's the second place car entering pit road. First place car coming to a stop right there. In his pit, the 48 of Wallet coming out. Wallet, I believe, is on the lead lap, but he's going to have to get all the way around the track before Massey comes out of his pit. Douglas Hess moves into the lead. Douglas Hess, if you remember, pitted on lap 25, so he is good for a while. Stephen Massey there coming out into second place. Jim Westerfield in third. Jim Westerfield pitted on lap 31. And Caudle is behind him in fourth. Caudle. Let's see if we can pull up some pit stats here. We'll go back to Douglas Hess, the current leader. So it looks like Hess and Massey and Westerfield and Caudle all had pretty good pit times. Hess got in and out the fastest, but he did pit early on lap 25. Here's Douglas Hess, and you see Jamal just behind him. He's a lap down. And then Stephen Massey is second, a good 9.5 seconds back from Hess. And Westerfield here catching up to Chad Engel, 10 laps down. It's like Josh Mayhew's back in the pits. He pitted on lap 24, now again on 37. But Douglas Hess is your current leader. Although we are going to have to see how his pit strategy plays out. It's still too early to tell how this race is going to end up. But he's got quite a lead on Massey. Massey led the first 35 laps of the race and then went in for a pit stop about a third of the way through. Hess pitted early, got back out there with fresh tires and made up the gap. And now he's in the lead. Although we would expect for him to pit perhaps in another 12 laps. Unless he'll try to stretch this into 3, which I think would add a lot of wear on the tires. He may be forced to add in an extra pit stop, which is about exactly a lap, it looked like, from the cars coming in before. Mayhew looks like he has pulled out of the race. Chad Engel behind him will take 7th when he catches up. Douglas Hess, and a lap down behind him is Jamal Poo in the yellow Menards car. Your leader Douglas Hess in the X-Side. Pink and black. Down the backstretch. Topping out at 186 there at the end of the backstretch. Let's talk about points for a second here. Douglas Hess, the leader, is 14th in points right now. Quite a few people in front of him who are not in this race today. Of Stephen Massey who's currently in 9th, which is probably where Hess would end up, jumping from 14th to 9th, practically just for participation in this event. I'm sorry, to 10th. Looks like Chad Engel is coming in, down 10 laps. He last pitted on lap 6, so he's now just pushing it. Here's Jamal Pooh getting his lap back here, staying in front of Douglas Hess, the leader. Officially now, Jamal is 41 seconds behind the leader on the lead lap. Running that low side, presumably burning the tires down there. Jamal last pit on lap 35, so that was just a tad bit late. He was one of the latest people to do it, so maybe he figures he has a little more tires to burn. But the position doesn't hold up, and he has to give his lap back here as Douglas Hess takes it back. And Jamal's now officially a lap down again. Douglas Hess now has led 10 laps. We'll see we're 5 laps away from the midpoint and on a 3-fuel cycle, a 3-stop cycle. I would expect that's when he will come in, unless he tries to push it. Maybe tries to go 28 laps on each of the last 2 segments. Here's Jamal looking low again. Not quite enough for the lap this time around. And who is that sideways? It's Chad Angle. Here's Chad in the replay. He just lost it there on the high side. Forces it down. Brings the car to a stop safely. He's coming down pit road now. Here we see Douglas Hess, our current leader. And Jamal Pooh fighting for his lap back. He's in 6th place, 1 lap down. Although not right now, as he noses out in front of Douglas Hess in front of the stripe. Officially marked now as back 41.9 seconds. But on the lead lap for the moment. And Douglas Hess, we're going to be watching to see when he comes in, is on 49 laps down. He's going to be coming up against his 2nd pit stop if he's on a 3-stop strategy. Is he slowing up a bit? Yes, here he's coming in. He is definitely on the 3-stop strategy here. Slows down for pit entry. The other car's still out. Giving up the lead here for the 2nd pit stop. Josh Mayu would be the other driver on this 3-stop strategy, but he appears to have retired his vehicle. And so Stephen Massey is now our new leader here, as Douglas Hess has taken his 2nd pit stop. Douglas Hess will end up a lap down here. And Stephen Massey has the lead. And now he has caught up to Jamal. Jamal, of course, got his lap back once Massey pulled it in. Must have had some sort of incident because he's really slowed up here. Car looks okay. Can't tell you what it is, but Stephen Massey, our new leader, is catching on him. And there's Jamal high, giving up space. Massey coming low. And as they come to the stripe, Jamal is a lap down again. Massey pulls in front, runs a high line through the corner. So only 4 cars on the lead lap now. There's the first place driver, Stephen Massey, led the first 35 laps of the race before pitting on a 2-stop strategy, giving up the lead to Douglas Hess, who is on a 3-stop strategy, who's currently now a lap down. When Hess pitted on lap 50 at the midway point, Massey took the lead again, and now it's back to his lead for the last 8 laps. Massey has a 13-second interval over Jim Westerfield. As Massey's rolling off the backstretch, Westerfield is rolling on and powering down it. And just behind him is John Caudle, 3 seconds back there. And the final car on the lead lap is Jason Wallet. maybe about 2/3 of a lap down there. Then a lap down in 5th place is Jamal Poo. And behind him in 6th place, Douglas Hess. Douglas Hess is closing this gap now to Jamal, down to 3 seconds, so we'll watch that. The 2-stop pitters might be pitting any time now. Probably a couple more laps, at least. And Chad Engel is in the pits. Here's the leader, Stephen Massey again. And here we have Jamal Poo a lap down, and he's being challenged there by Douglas Hess coming up behind him, now closing that gap to less than a half of a second. He's been gaining on him several tenths of a second each lap, and is now right up behind. This is the battle for 5th place here. Jamal Poo in the yellow Menards #1 car. Douglas Hess with the fresher tires on the 4-stop strategy, led 14 laps. Still a lap down, but now passing Jamal to take over 5th place. And he will stay out now while the rest of the field comes in, which we're awaiting at any time now. You see, he's coming up on Stephen Massey, too, to take his lap back. So here's where we get to start to see where the strategy might unfold. It seems to me, just off the top of my head, that the guys taking 3 stops are going to be at a disadvantage. And it's really, when we're talking about that, we're just talking about Douglas Hess. Douglas Hess right there behind the leader. There you see the gap. We'll see it better as they come down the backstretch. Right here, there's Stephen Massey, and they're right behind him, Douglas Hess. Fighting here, he will be to get his lap back. Both drivers have one more pit stop left. But right now, Douglas Hess has the fresher tires. So he's gaining on him shortly. But we still only have about 4 more laps here before we're really 2/3 of the way through the race, and that's when I would expect the pit stops to come in. And then, of course, Douglas Hess will have like 9 laps fresher tires from there to the end of the race. Here he is on the inside now of Massey, getting his lap back officially. Still perhaps a couple laps here from the official 2/3 point. We had a couple of drivers. Well, Jim Westerfield short pit the first time at 31. But Caudle and Wallet both came in at 34, Massey at 35, with Jamal at 35. And that shows they're a little late. So if that's the case, they might still have a couple laps here, and maybe they want to push it off a little further to make sure they have really fresh tires at the end, or at least as fresh as possible. I guess if you're out and it's running decent, you've got a handle on it, you might as well take it, at least for a couple more laps. That's what they did the first time around. And it looks like Jim Westerfield is going to be the first guy to come in. Jim Westerfield pitted on lap 31. So he's 35 laps in here with less than 35 laps to go. So he looks to be ahead of the game, but he's certainly falling back now as the rest of the drivers don't pit. Yet. Westerfield is back on the track now, officially 2 laps down. There he is. Looks like Caudle is coming in now. Here comes Caudle down pit road. He's pitting from 2nd place here, and it looks like Wallet is coming in behind him there. Caudle pitting from 2nd, Wallet pitting from 3rd. Here comes Wallet down pit row. And behind him, Stephen Massey. Stephen Massey is up almost a complete lap on these guys now. Pitting behind them. And a lap up. A lap down. Sorry. They're on the same lap there, guys. Stephen Massey's now shown as the leader. Overshot his pit. We'll see what that mistake costs him. Here comes Douglas Hess, though, looking to take the lead back. He's on that 3-stop strategy. Second place is Stephen Massey, slowly catching up there to Douglas Hess. There's Hess in the center of your screen. And you can see the gap there, right there, back to Massey. Massey 1.7 seconds behind and closing. 7 cars on the lead lap right now, is that true? I think that is. Let's walk through them. And Jason Poo is coming into the pits. He was third, I believe, pitted from third. 6 cars were on the lead lap as Jamal will fall off. And here is Massey catching up to Hess for the lead. Hess is perhaps 1 lap away from his final pit stop, assuming he continues on that 3-stop drive, but Massey is just going to drive in front of him. And there you see Douglas Hess coming back in for his 3rd pit stop, giving Massey the lead. Massey with a mammoth lead. Massey last pitted lap 69, should be good to go to the end of the race. And there you see him coming out and passing Douglas Hess coming out of the pit, who's now a lap down in 5th place. Westerfield in 2nd place, 14.3 seconds down. He pitted on 66. Massey on 69 in the leader, so his tires are 3 laps older. Probably not in a position to catch up to Massey. Then Caudle in 3rd place, another 20 seconds behind Westerfield. We do have a potential battle maybe coming up for 3rd. Let's take a look. There's John Caudle in 3rd. Just a little over a second behind him is Jason Wallet. There he is on your screen. That interval seems to be holding solid for now. Remember, the 2 came in and pit right on top of each other, and Wallet really made up some ground there. That is a potential battle in the rest of the race here. You see Massey here. Hess now getting his lap back with the fresher tires. The question is, can he go all the way around in 20 laps? And I think the answer is, well, he'd have to beat him by 2 seconds a lap. And that's just not happening. 1 second. That's what they're doing now, not 2. We'll keep an eye on who he can pass, though, because so there's the leader, and if we look forward, we'll see Douglas Hess there, who is 3.2 seconds behind Jason Wallet, who's still not able to break that interval to Caudle, who's way behind Westerfield. Who's way behind Massey. So teams first and second are locked in Massey, Westerfield, unless one of them makes an error. I mean, it's certainly their race to give up. Now completed 82 laps, 18 to go. Caudle has given up a little space here to Wallet. Not too far behind. Less than a second now is the gap. And Hess has closed his gap behind that. Hess's strategy may be good enough for a third here. He's got 17 laps left. And he is closing that gap. But I don't know that they're going to catch Massey. Massey's way out in front. 16 seconds ahead of Westerfield in second. Who's 19 seconds ahead of Caudle in third. And we're going to flip back and show you this battle for third now, as this is starting to unfold. Here we have John Caudle in third place. Less than a half second back there is Wallet and Hess. Third, fourth, and fifth. And these gaps have been closing. And it looks like Hess overtaking Wallet will be the first pass, and he's making the move now on the backstretch, coming on the inside. Douglas Hess moves into fourth place. Now trains his sights on John Caudle. There you see Caudle, Hess, and Wallet. Third, fourth, and fifth here. Hess is making his move under Caudle as they come down the backstretch. This now the battle for third. And Hess completes the move and moves into third place. And now we watch the interval to Westerfield. We've got 14 laps left. Hess is 19 seconds behind Westerfield. He has to make up more than a second a lap. And right now the interval between them, on the last lap anyway, sits at about 0.7 of a second. So that seems to be not enough. It seems the likely outcome here would be Massey, Westerfield, and Hess. With 12 laps to go here, that gap is now 18 seconds between Douglas Hess and Jim Westerfield. I think they're almost spread evenly out. Massey and Westerfield and Hess. Let's see, there's Massey. There's Westerfield. And here's Hess coming through the tri-oval. So it looks like Massey's actually catching up to Hess. And Caudle and Willott are right in between them there. Wallet now catching up to Caudle. Coming down the back stretch. Wallet and Caudle both pitted on lap 68. These two have been driving pretty well together for the second two-thirds of the race. Last two-thirds, rather. And here they are, coming right down to the wire. Wallet has the momentum in that he's able to pull up on Caudle, but we're going to have to see in the next 10 laps if he can pass him. This being the race for 4th place. First place being Stephen Massey. Oh, and a little loose there as Wallet gets around Caudle. I think there's a little contact. But Wallet has now moved into 4th place. No, Caudle's making an aggressive run there. Ends up high in the wall. Perhaps dashing his hopes of catching Wallet. In the next 8 laps, and there goes Stephen Massey, the leader. Reminding us all that this is his race. The Citizen Bank 400 at Michigan International Speedway. You're watching Stephen Massey. He led the first 35 laps. Led a chunk in the middle. The only time he didn't lead was Douglas Hess, who had an advantage in the middle of the race because of his 3-stop strategy, which has him catching up here at the end. But he's going to end up in 3rd. There you see Massey. And that's Caudle a lap down behind him on the backstretch. See, Massey's in 1st by almost 20 seconds now over Jim Westerfield in 2nd place. And Douglas Hess is still 15 seconds behind him and pulling away from the 4th place car. So it looks like the podium is locked in here, as we now have 6 laps to go. pause. Massey now over 20 seconds in first place. Yeah, that's 95 complete. Coming down to 4 to go at the line here. Completing lap 96. 4 to go for Massey, who holds a commanding lead over Jim Westerfield. He can almost just glide home at this point. He has to give up 4 seconds a lap in order to lose this lead. Just doesn't seem likely to happen. He's coming up on the would-be left car of Jason Wallet. That's the 4th place car right there. So we saw Douglas Hess move through the two of them, and then Wallet passed Caudle. Stephen Massey will get 2 to go, this time by Citizens Bank 400 at Michigan International Speedway. There are 2 laps to go, and Stephen Massey has a 22-second lead in first place. Coming down the backstretch for the second to last time. Now Stephen Massey getting the white flag. One more time around for him, and he'll have this locked in. Coming out of turn 2 and down the backstretch for the last time now. Jason Wallet there, a lap down behind him. Stephen Massey the leader. Stephen Massey coming out of turn 4. Here he comes to the checkered flag, the winner of the Citizens Bank 400 at Michigan International Speedway, Stephen Massey. And now we will twiddle our thumbs and wait for Jim Westerfield. What a huge gap. Massey just dominated this race. As here comes Westerfield out of turn 4 and across the stripe to take second place. And then we'll go another 10 seconds back. Here comes Douglas Hess to take third and round out the podium. And there's our result. There's our results. Wallet takes 4th, a lap down. Caudle 5th. Jamal 6th, a lap down. And then Engel dropped out after 58 laps complete. There's Massey, the victor. doing some donuts, burnouts. He's happy. He had a dominating performance here. We'll try to bring him into the booth in a second. Hey, Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Eric up here in the broadcast booth. I see you pulling into Victory Lane. How's it feel?
It was good.
You really... Go ahead.
I said completed the hat trick.
I'm sorry, what is the hat trick?
Hat trick in hockey, I believe, is where they score 3 points. I won 3 in a row, so that's what I was calling it.
Sorry, I just didn't do my research before the broadcast today. It kind of snuck up on me. But you really dominated this race today. I mean, now if you're aware, the 2 cars behind you were running different pit strategies, but you just ran away from them the whole race. You're so much faster.
Yeah, I knew, especially Doug, he had a different pit strategy. If he didn't slide through his pit box, and then when he backed back up into it, he was too far to the right. So I know he probably would have got me, honestly. I was sitting there doing the math. It would have been really close to the end. But yeah, it just felt good. I was just conserving my tires there. And it hooked up for me. I kept it going.
And you pitted a little late there in both of your... I mean, Jim kept much more of a rigorous schedule every 33 laps, but you seemed to push him off a little. And you really think that was an advantage, having better tires?
Yeah, I planned on 2 pit stops. So I did the first 2 pit stops every 35 laps. That way it would set me up for only 30 laps on the last run, so I can kind of give it a little more aggression for the last run there.
Well, nobody was going to catch you the way you were running those laps. I mean, you can kind of just sit back and almost relax, right? And just know that you have the fastest line around that track.
Yeah, I was definitely relaxed. Once that first run was over and I started to peel away, I was like, I think this is going to be a good race.
Well, congratulations. Great win, 3 in a row, as you said.
Appreciate that.
And we'll see you again, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate the broadcast.
No problem. Let's see if we can bring Jim in. Oh. He may have stepped out. Let's see if we can bring Doug Hess. Hey, Doug, it's Eric Robertson in the broadcast booth. You around?
Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing? That was an interesting strategy you had. I was watching that the whole race long, trying to see how exactly it would play out. What made you go with the 3 stops?
Well, it actually would have played out, but if you watch my second pit stop, I overshot my stall. Then I backed up, and I was too far to the right, so I lost probably 15 seconds.
Oh no, I didn't catch that at all. They were I don't know why. I mean, you were pitting when nobody else was. But that's...
Yeah, I mean, I just made a mistake. You know, I don't know if I would have got the first. I'd have definitely got the second. You know, it'd have been close. You know.
Yeah, that's right about the gap that you had to Jim. But Steve was just gone.
Yeah, I made that mistake on pit road, and that killed my strategy or any chance that I had it. You know, I don't know if I would have caught him or not, but I never know now.
It certainly gave us a lot of interesting racing, though, as you had a lot of lap traffic to pass when you had fresher tires out there.
Yeah, it's hard to pass on same tires. It's a lot easier on fresh.
Well, congratulations on 3rd place. You had a great run there at the end of the race. Certainly better tires than everyone else, and moved right through Wallet and Caudle.
Yeah, I had 6-7 lap new fresher tires than them.
Well, congratulations, and I'm sure we'll see you back here soon.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, well, that's going to be it for our broadcast here tonight. And there you have Stephen Massey, the winner here at Michigan tonight. And this is the last race of this calendar year. not of the season. We'll be back January 6th, this time at Rockingham for the EA Sports 400. And then in January, we'll be at New Hampshire and Daytona and at Chicagoland. So we'll see you soon.